Today, I actually achieved something completely new. I was on this 4-hour long kind of training session with the firefighting department, practicing different things to prepare for different scenarios in the field. Between two of my sets, I decided to do a few controlled breath to put myself in hypnosis, because I've been drawn to the realms of the dragons a lot recently. And I was thinking firstly about the elements, the ether, the electricity, the fire and the air, and how especially those three over the earth and the water is what I am like magnetically attracting all of the time. And I was thinking first, and then I started to see, feel and know that I was standing on top of this female dragon soaring through the sky all over our realm. And I was standing upon her back, and we had this soul link connection, so we could read each other's mind. And it was like I'm riding a snow or a wakeboard, like roaring through the thundering clouds, and they were kind of created through my movements with my hands as the dragon were shooting fire. And it became so real. So I could smell it, I could feel it, and I have it, and I still remember it crystal clearly, as it was a past life or a futuristic version of what I am supposed to be doing. And then I also felt so sad, because we have so many heavy metal pollutions today, and the dragons, they hoard upon in their layer on the gold, because the dragon, they are a very noble creature, which means they only need the noble metals, the gold, the copper and the silver. And when they spray all of the heavy metals, of course the dragons can't exist here anymore, because the environment kills them off. And I am so eager to create a new way to bring them back. And then I started to think about fairies. The fairy dust. That's also a golden, shimmering, dust-like thing, which also is a noble metal. And I guess, or I know, that in the past, before the demonic horde and plague took over Earth with their pollution through the heavy metal reconstructing and the frequencies that dim our capabilities down, that there once was this beautiful magical realm with fairies and dragons and giants and gnomes and elves and shamans shape-shifting as they wanted to. And as I am thinking back to the memory or the hypnotic state I just put myself into, be able to live that memory in the moment, it was so obvious to me that this is of course why I have been drawn at the beginning to become a firefighter in the first place, because that is connected to the fire element, but we're putting the fire out as a firefighter. But then I started to also become interested in thinking that of course that is the way to create balance, is so that the fire can be controlled in a way. And if I were in the past or in the future or in the now or in a alternate reality or a different time, and actually in that specific present moment as I was living it in the mind and in the mental, in the soul, just soaring the sky throughout or all over Earth with this thundering roar like of a heroic, mighty, magic electric sensation of raw, uplifting power, then I know that of course there is. And then when I thought that, I got this amazingly great goosebumps all over myself, and and I knew that the soul connection to the dragon I was riding is actually out there somewhere. And then I started to think about the movie How to Train Your Dragon, and how he finds it all of a sudden in the forest as it's smacked down. And then I got this realization: if I go on my own wandering around or a roundabout, it doesn't even need to be that far or long. I know at some point I will come across my dragon, because in the moment maybe it was already there, the connection with the soul and the spirit of the dragon's mighty roar. And for some reason I knew it's a feminine dragon, which is interesting. And when I knew that, I started to think about the movie Aragon and how his dragon is a feminine version, and how his magic is amplified through her and with her as they are bonding with their whole beings. And then of course I thought that there once were dragon riders, and then we can remember the old depictions of like the soldiers who was kind of riding in the Egyptian stone walls in these kind of old stories that are lost now, upon the backs of what was looking like a dinosaur but was most likely a land-born dragon. And let's say the people who are more connected to the earth or the water element, they would have an earth dragon, or they could have like a water dragon, let's say.